First off, I want to thank the brave men and women who work behind the wall. I want to thank them on a national level because their job goes unrecognized.
How do they try to turn a guard?
Well, correctional officer. Sorry, I apologize. But correctional officer. How you guys doing today? It's Anthony Gangi, host of Tier Talk. And today I want to talk about the importance of our action. Every action that we do has a reaction. It can create a humongous ripple effect in the pond we know as corrections. So when we come back from our sponsor, I want to talk about how we need to be on point each and every day, because you never know when we're going to be the excuse for negative change in corrections. I stand by for our sponsor.
I wanted to attend a university that had an intelligence program. I wanted to look at problems different. I wanted to increase my critical thinking abilities. AMU offered those avenues to expand. Obtaining your degree as an adult, you're actually paying yourself and investing in yourself. You can't put a dollar on it, it's priceless. It's something that can never be taken away from you.
American Military University. Learn from the leader.
Thank you guys for listening to our sponsor. This is a great topic, guys, because we're talking about change in corrections. And sometimes, guys, we're a part of that change, whether we want to be or not. And unfortunately, the change that we see happening in corrections kind of leans towards the negative. You know, the changes that we have happening in corrections is very unbalanced, very biased. And it makes our facilities vulnerable. But we need to realize that on an individual level, our actions can be used as a foundation or a motivator for that change. So we're looking at extreme cases that are generalized or normalized as if this is what is done on a national level. That means that your individual actions, whether you're negligent or malicious, could affect someone else in another state. It's crazy how connected we are. And you realize that when you go to these colleges and you go to speak. Now, again, I spoke recently at Rutgers and at Seton Hall, and they want to talk about controversial topics. And of course, the first thing on the agenda is what they would term as solitary confinement. Hate that term. It's more restrictive housing or administrative segregation. But again, it's the term that they're familiar with. And they base their argument on, let's say, two extreme cases. Of course, they're bringing up Khalif Browder. They're bringing up Sandra Bland. And then me, who love to defend the profession, I find it harder to defend the individual actions when my objective is at this point is to defend the use of the tool. So sometimes I have to remove the system from the actions of the individual and show them why the tool is needed. The funny thing is, the people that want to battle that the tool is being misused, they don't even know the reason why the tool needs to be employed, the proper use. So now I'm educating them from a different perspective, talking to them about the need for the tool instead of trying to spend all my time going through a brick wall on defending the individual's actions who may have misused the tool. Again, I'm going to focus my argument on why the tool is needed, why it needs to be employed, how it's supposed to be used, and just ultimately bring the system out and far away from the actions of the individuals who were negligent or malicious. So, again, just going back to how important our actions are, we can have a tremendous impact on where corrections is headed, especially now. You see criminal justice reform right now, bipartisan support, pushing their agenda that's going to affect corrections on a national level. And it's funny when they say bipartisan support. It's what I always said. The answers to what our problems are not on the left or right. It's always in the middle road, the compromise. And when they say bipartisan support, what do you think that is? It's simply compromise. It's simply finding that middle ground that most people are so far away from. You know, it's the front line getting involved with that change that has always been left out. Now we see that the changes are coming, and front line hopefully is going to start having a voice in what that change will be. But again, just going back to what I mentioned, the changes that are happening in corrections are based on extremes. They are extremes that are being used to define the system as a whole, and these extremes are usually based on people who just did not do what they were supposed to do with the tools that they have. And the media jumps on that misuse and uses that as the focal point for whatever change that they're looking for. So in this video here, I just want to remind people that the actions that you commit to are not only going to be your actions. They wind up defining all our actions. So always be aware of the ripple effect. Remember that. Corrections is a pond, and every action has a ripple effect. So always be alert, do what's expected of you, and don't be the reason for negative change. Don't be that case that is brought up to me when I'm speaking out of college, when people are trying to promote that extreme left for change. Don't be that individual. And again, at that point when that happens, the best we can do is remove this system from that individual who has bastardized that tool and educate people on why that tool is needed. Because if we don't, we're going to lose more of our valuable tools because of extreme situations that really have nothing to do with the proper use of our tools. It's all related to that misuse. As always, guys, the show's here. Talk if you haven't. Please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. That bell's going to notify you every time I post up a video. Stay safe.